Welcome to the New York City Sightseeing Tour Guide Office. I see you are here because you would like to get your tour guide license for New York. Excellent. Well, you've come to the right place. Let me just tell you a bit about how today will go. First, we'll get some basic information from you. I'll look at the application that you sent in via the internet, and then we will administer the actual exam, which is sort of like a quiz, but I think you'll find it challenging but fun. If all goes well, you will get your photo taken, and then you will get your actual license, which looks like this. It tells you it's a sightseeing guide. It'll have your photo, and it will say your name, license number, and the expiration date. So, now, you have just moved here from Italy, yes? Were you a guide there? I know Italy has very, very strict qualifications needed to be a guide there, so as long as you did your studying, I think that this should be pretty simple for you. Okay, so let me just find the application that you sent in online, and we will go over the information that you put in it. Just make sure it's all correct. Okay. Just see. Spell your last name. And you sent it in on, okay, hold on. I think actually might be on this. It's P. Okay, got it. Well, let me just jot some notes as we chat. Okay. So, now it says your file. You were a sightseeing guide in Italy. You verified that. Okay. And can you just verify the spelling of your name? Perfect. The best contact number to reach you at? And were you looking to get a license for 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years? Basically, there is a renewal fee each year of $50. However, if you do 2 years, it's $80, and if you do 3 years, it's just verify, it's $120. The 3 years. Okay. And we can process that at the end. Now, what's your specialty in terms of tours? Are you into food, history, arts and culture? Okay. And how long have you lived in New York City? Oh, about 5 years. You're not a newbie. What neighborhood? Oh, you live in Brooklyn. Me too. Oh, Williamsburg. I'm in Bushwick, so we're practically neighbors. Okay. Do you think you'll be doing some Brooklyn tours? food tour in Williamsburg. There's so many good places you could put. You could do Mass Brothers Chocolate, do have them tour the factory. That's always fun. Fornino Pizza. The guy that runs that is actually the first chef of Brooklyn, they call him, because he was the first chef in Brooklyn to be reviewed by the New York Times. So that's kind of fun. Oh, and you gotta take them to Oddfellows Ice Cream. They do really crazy flavors, like they have tobacco and chorizo in the ice cream. It's pretty fun. But the owner, Sam Meeson, he's actually known for his freezing techniques. So he'll, for example, take jelly, freeze it, and then smash it into a homemade peanut butter base and create a delicious peanut butter and jelly ice cream. So just some ideas for you. Okay, if you could just sign here, please. And do you have your photo ID with you? Okay. Perfect. And that checks out. Perfect. Okay, so we're all set with the preliminary questions. I want to also recommend a book to you. I think that once you start developing some tours, maybe you'll want a reference to help get those creative juices flowing. It's not always easy to just come up with a tour, even if you love a neighborhood or think you know it really well. There's always someone else that also knows it pretty well. So if you pass your exam, you'll be getting a copy of this book. We have one for each borough, but since you mentioned Brooklyn, you would get the Walking Brooklyn edition. And this book has 30 tours exploring historical legacies, neighborhood culture, side streets, and waterways. And it's by Adrienne Onofre. And it's, you know, got some great walks. For example, if you wanted to do a Greenpoint Tour, which is, you know, right by us, it's about a 3 3/4 mile walk, and some highlights include, there's a few: Father Jersey, Popolosco Square, McCarran Park, which is a favorite of mine. Oh, the summer movies, it's great. The Green Dome Garden, Warsaw, the Polish National Home, Monsignor McCulbrick Park, Old Poland, Peter Pan Donut and Pastry Shop, Europa Nightclub, the Greenpoint Savings Bank, and the New Foundry, New York. So lots of great stops, history. You can definitely get some good Polish food. So yeah, it's worth taking a look. Oh, Sunset Park, Melting Pot on the waterfront. So it's a good one too. Have you been to the Industry City over there with the open factories? And it's really fun, and they have a summer kind of like block party that's really fun. So anyway, I will give you this book and update your file for you. Now for the fun part, or the nerve-wracking part, I guess, for some, but don't worry, it'll be fun. The actual exam. Now the way we do it is we have our own kind of trivia game that we quiz our, respective tour guides with. Some things you might be asked: what are the names of the beloved lions at the entrance of the New York Public Library? Which font is used in New York City subway signs? Who is Eustace Tilley? And Central Park is larger than which country? Just to tell you the last one, the answer is Monaco. So, we'll basically test your New York City IQ. There are 400 questions in total, but we won't ask you all of them. Okay, so I'll be keeping your score on this little pad, NYC IQ pad, and basically this will be telling you your score at the end. First set of writing utensils. Do you have a favorite color? Red. I will use red then for good luck. Okay, so let's get started with your exam. Sorry. Okay. The cards. Now, which did Park Avenue consist of in the 1840s? Mansions, country estates, or squatter homes? What's your response? Perfect. Got it correct. Called 4th Avenue at the time, it was the site of tracks for the New York and Harlem Railroad. What is significant about the townhouse at 75.5 Bedford Street in the West Village? It is the narrowest house in New York City. It belongs to Susan Sarandon. It is the most expensive home in New York City. You're right again, the narrowest. Have you seen it? It's so funny looking. I mean, you have to stop and notice it. It's impossible not to notice. It's actually near the apartment that was Monica and Friends' apartment. Of course, that's just the facade. They actually shot Friends in LA, but it's still kind of fun to show guests. They always ask about Friends. Who said New York is a catastrophe, but a magnificent catastrophe? The Swiss-French architect Le Corbusier, the French President Jacques Chirac, or the Italian Prime Minister Silvio Berlusconi? Right again. The Swiss-French architect Le Corbusier. You really did your homework. Who owned the land beneath Rockefeller Center from its initial development in 1930 until 1985? The Rockefeller family, Columbia University, or the Hearst Corporation? Columbia University. That one usually stumps people. Rockefeller Center has had different co-owners since 1985, including Goldman Sachs, Gianni Agnelli, Stavros Niarchos, Mitsubishi Estate, and real estate tycoon Jerry Speyer. So, doing impressively well right now. What is the title of the art mural at the 81st Street Museum of Natural History subway stop? For Want of a Nail, Carrying On, or Migration? Great job, For Want of a Nail. That one most people do not know. You really have done your study. The mosaic features the evolution of life on Earth, from tiny single-celled organisms to the T-Rex and depictions of the cosmos. Now, here's a tough one. For the first 2 years of the Tony Awards of 1947, 1948, winners were presented with what? A bottle of whiskey and a golden comb, a scroll and a cigarette lighter, bill clip, or a makeup compact, a new Schwinn bicycle. A scroll and a cigarette lighter, bill clip, or makeup compact. That is correct. The Tonys are formerly the Antoinette Perry Awards for Excellence in Theater. That's what they were originally known as. Which famous artist did Madonna date in the 80s? Jean-Michel Basquiat, Vanilla Ice, or Keith Haring? Jean-Michel, yep. See, some of these questions might seem a little silly, but you'll be surprised the random things that guests will ask you. So we just like to make sure that our guides have a good mix of historical knowledge, cultural knowledge, and also pop culture as well. Which street artist was known for his radiant baby images? Jean-Michel Basquiat, Keith Haring, or Andy Warhol? That one you are getting wrong, unfortunately. It wasn't Andy Warhol, it was Keith Haring. But that's great. One wrong is not a big deal. Who painted his masterpiece, Broadway Boogie Woogie, shortly after moving to NYC? Mark Rothko, Jackson Pollock, or Pierre Mondrian? Mondrian. Good job. Edvard Munch's The Scream set a record by selling for how much at Sotheby's, New York? 120 million, 250 million, or 23 million? 120 million, yep. The Scream was the most expensive painting ever sold at auction in 1990, but has since been surpassed by a half dozen others. Cézanne's The Card Players, which was 250 million. The record holder as of 2012. Okay, just a couple more questions. President Teddy Roosevelt reportedly declared that in reaction to the Armory Show of 1913, what did he declare? That's not art. One need not understand a movement to feel its weight, or war on France. That's not art, correct. The Armory Show, which featured many now famous works of modern art, shocked the general public, many of whom considered it vulgar and un-American. I love the Armory Show. I go every year. So much inspiring artworks. It's great, meeting people from all over the world. They're so creative and inspiring. Who is the New York Times' much-loved street-style photographer? Terry Richardson, Bill Cunningham, Scott Schumann? Bill Cunningham. He's almost always seen wearing that blue jacket. Now, the city sued the Brooklyn Museum in 1999 for exhibiting Chris O'Filly's The Holy Virgin Mary. On what grounds? Violating the separation of church and state. Mary is modeled on Rudy Giuliani, depicting as a drag queen. Obscenity, among other details. Mary is painted with elephant tongue. Choice C, the obscenity, that is correct. Just a few more questions, I said, and then you're doing great. I'm sure that you're going to get. Now, who are Patience and Fortitude? Didn't even have to tell you the choices. The marble lions guarding the New York Public Library. They were actually named after Mayor LaGuardia. During the Depression, he said that those were the qualities that New Yorkers needed to survive that tough time. So, that's really interesting, just these tidbits of history that are everywhere. Now, on whom did French sculptor Frederick Bartholdi model the Statue of Liberty? A New York prostitute? Joan of Arc? The face of his mother's? The body of his mistresses? Jeanne Emilie. Yep. Tracy. Frederick and Jeanne Emilie later married. Ironically, no part of her body is visible in the statue, save her arms. Okay. Now, the wife of which realist painter left their joint collection of artwork to the Whitney Museum of American Art? Edward Hopper, John Singer Sargent, or Winslow Homer? Hopper. Edward and Josephine Hopper actually lived in Greenwich Village. Yeah, it's pretty interesting. Oh, I love Greenwich Village too. Though that's where that skinny, Bedford house is. There's a great ice cream shop over there called Pop Bar, where they actually have this kind of, healthier, artisanal, handmade gelato, which they dip. There's all different flavors. You dip it in what syrup you want, chocolate, caramel, toffee, whatever. And then you pick your toppings. It's called Pop Bar, and you have this delicious treat on a stick, which is amazing. Right next to that, you'll also find Molly's Cupcakes, where you can kind of design your own cupcakes. And they do the filled kind, so you get these like really decadent fillings like that like cookie flavored peanut butter stuff that I've had. So good. And there's that beautiful Italian church. I think Our Lady of Pompeii it's called. I feel like you're in Italy for a few minutes. Okay, this is the last question of your exam. Van Gogh's Starry Night is located in which New York City art museum? The Whitney Museum of Art, the Museum of Modern Art, the Metropolitan Museum of Art? The Whitney Museum of Art. Well, I think it's safe to say that you passed. I got one wrong of all those questions. So, congratulations. Now, you'll get a copy of your exam. All the questions you can see what you got right. What's the best address to mail this to? Okay. These should go out tomorrow. I think the mail already came today. But you'll get these. You'll also get your license, but to do that, I'm going to need to get a photo of you in 1 second. Just put back our quiz here. They have trivia games, but we actually had this NYC made just for us to test people. So they do make other versions for tour guides that maybe wanted to step on and learn a bit about New York. So, okay, so stand back and I will take your picture. Ready? One more. Okay, perfect. Alright, well, we're all set. Thank you so much for stopping in. I feel that you're going to be a great addition to the city's already outstanding guide lineup. So, if you have any questions or need any help, we also offer services for helping get your website set up. We offer a listing on our site. Yes, yeah, you can be listed on our site as a private guide. Did you want to do that? Okay, let me just... form again in this big binder. Okay. Did you want website help as well? Okay. Let's do this. Now, in-person help good? Okay. How does on Friday sound at 12? Okay. Have you ever built a website before? Super. Okay. Now, you might not know this yet, but when you come on Friday, I would suggest letting us know your rates so we can list those on the website. Bring your laptop. If you have any tours that you know you want to sell, bring a draft of those. We'll get those up. If not, we'll show you how to do it at home. Now, the total for this, we give a discount, so because you're one of our guides, will be it's $100, and you'll meet with her for about an hour. Perfect. Okay. All right. Well, just make sure to put in your credit card on Friday and all the information, and we look forward to helping you get your website set up. So, great. Congratulations.